Okay, welcome to Studiolive here, and today we're going to go over a file that I've created here, and it's got a drum track, two guitar tracks, and a bass track on it, and I want to go over the whole DAW here and what it's constructed of. And we're using, on the first track here, we're using something called Easy Drummer, which is it's a software for your drum tracks as far as that. And on the guitar tracks, we're using a Boss DR880 along with a guitar rig. Okay, so we've got an external device into our DAW. Okay, and we've got a software package which came along with Studio One. So you can go either way. And that's part of the setup also that I want to get to as far as your external devices, whether you're using a synthesizer, your actual like fader ports, what have you. But those need to be updated usually every 3 or 4 months into your system through the company, and that's important. We'll get to that also. So let's get into our setup here real quick so we're on the same page as far as that. And well, you can see it right there. But our setup is, our sample rate here that we're using is 512, okay, and we're using a 32-bit float here. So it's pretty common as far as that. Some people like to stick around 24, and but this is where I'm comfortable, and it sounds good. And it depends what type of crunch you want here. Okay, but let's go on to our song setup, and I think pretty much everybody's on the same path right here as far as with their DAWs that they have. So the setup is pretty much cut and dry also, where you're at with that. As you can see, you can pretty much have as many inputs as you want. My playback is on channel 1 and 2, and my drums are on all inputs, and my guitar is on channel 3 and 4, bass is on channel 5 and 6. Okay, so it depends how many takes I want, and if I want it in mono or stereo. So let's get back, and I want to go over the song here, and I want to go over a brief tutorial here of dynamics processing also. Okay, and if we have enough time today, we're going to go over writing track automation, which is it's a good step right here for our first workflow. But our brief tutorial on dynamics processing, okay, is regarding our actual compression instruments. Does every instrument need compression? Probably not. Compression is can be troublesome at some point, so you got to basically know how to define it and not to over compress it. Noise gates, we'll go over that. Dynamic range and limiting. Okay, there's certain types of dynamic processing, expansion, and the compressors are basically that I have on this board also. We'll deal with threshold, ratio, a limiter, attack, released, hard and soft knee, and there's a lot to know about this as far as that, how to use it, when to use it, what instruments to use it on, and it depends what type of mix you're using also. You know, I mean, it's what type of ceiling you have on your system. So that's something I want to go over in depth here, not today, but now on these guitar tracks that I'm going to play, each guitar track on this system here has its own EQ and its own dynamic processing here. So the bass is same. It's two different settings, and the settings that you should go by, and I will give you a detailed illustration here with a slide of probably where you want to be for the right sound for recording. Okay, live sounds a little bit different. So let's play this, and let me just show you where we're at with this song. You get a good idea, and I'll mute the tracks too. And so what we did was we muted both guitar tracks at one point. You can see where we're at, and let me just play that real quick again for about a second. You can get a better idea. Okay, so basically I've panned my guitar tracks right and left, and I'm trying to get the best sound I can here. Now, to go into this preliminary recording also is you've got to figure out as far as where you're at and how far you want to take this. Okay, what I try to do is I try to do a real rough recording at first, and not to get too excited about it, because you've got a long way to go, believe me, with this. I just did this this morning. I've got a long way to go with this. I've got to decide whether or not, if I was doing the song, if I wanted to keep it, I wanted where to set my markers, I want to work efficiently, I want to work quick, okay? And I've got to basically set my drums. What I like to do is set up the drums and my guitar first, and bass, leads, keyboards, the rest of it comes in last, and then finally vocals. Okay, now that's when I'm going to master too, but I do everything real rough, and I think a lot of studio musicians do it also too. You want to create a little rough model. You know, it's like just creating anything else. I mean, you know, you're not going to get it right the first time. So we're going to go over this many times and edit it, sculpture it into basically a fine painting, okay? And by the time we're done, we're going to get into the actual master, and that's when we're going to really fine tune it. We'll use the correct amount of compression, and really see where we're at. And when you get to that point, you feel there's an accomplishment there, and you're finally like, yeah, it's done. So you're going to put some hours into a setup like this, and as you go along, it'll be less hours. Okay, I've spent up to probably 40 hours on songs before, and then when they get done, it's it's a big learning curve too. You're like, oh, I should have done this, and the next tune will be better, of course. Okay, so until next time, let's just swing over here. I wanted to give you a real quick view of Easy Drummer on the other screen, and I highly recommend this. It's a $70 program. The price has dropped. It's just it's awesome, man. It's got everything you would want for software machines. It's got fills. You can quantize everything within your system. This is Guitar Rig over here. I use this along with my Boss DR880, and so I'll do like a clean sound out of the Boss, and then I'll come in here and I'll add distortion or what have you, and it's pretty slick. And let's go over this just real quickly. I'll mute the rest of this. Just the drum. Bass. Okay, so that's basically my backbone of my song right there, my drums and bass. And until then, like I said, next time we'll get into more of the actual dynamics and automation, okay, for the all the tracks. And then we'll be at a good step right there where we can get into more advanced editing. So until then, so you get a better close up on this so you can see that. Thanks from the Studio Live, and shut this down. Have a good day.